welcome back to a chapter a day. Oh my goodness, I have missed 2 days of recording. You know why? It is the holiday season, family and togetherness and just having fun. And I have just not settled down enough, had a good time. So today is one of those days I'm able to settle. It's a good time. It's not yet 2 p.m. So I am going to be reading 2 Kings chapter 3. Let's see if I can recount what happened in the previous chapter. Elijah was taken up to heaven in a whirlwind. And while Elisha saw it, he was able to get that request that he asked Elisha, which was a double portion of Elisha's blessings, or his ability to work, whatever miracles God asked of him. So we had an incident in which at the end of his experience, and Elisha was heading back, I guess, to his home, some children came out and started making fun of him. I guess they heard about Elijah's translation, and I'm sure everyone had some sort of story about it, because even the prophets who were knowledgeable of it were asking Elisha to have them go and search for Elijah, just in case the chariots picked him up and dropped him off someplace. So they were asking permission to go and look for him, and he told them fine, but in his mind he knew that that God had taken Elijah up to heaven. So let's see what takes place now in chapter 3. Now Jehoram, the son of Ahab, began to reign over Israel in Samaria the 18th year of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, and reigned 12 years. And he wrought evil in the sight of the Lord, but not like his father and like his mother, for he put away the image of Baal that his father had made. Nevertheless, he cleaved unto the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, which made Israel to sin. He departed not therefrom. And Mesha, king of Moab, was a sheepmaster, and rendered unto the king of Israel 100,000 lambs and 100,000 rams, with the wool. But it came to pass, when Ahab was dead, that the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel. Okay, so apparently the king of Israel is Jehoram, which is Ahab's son, and Jehoshaphat is the king of Judah. Jehoram is not as evil as his father Ahab, but yeah, he has the traits in there. So he is still allowing idolatry in Israel. The king of Moab comes up against the king of, well, I should say that he gave him sheep and lambs and rams, etc. But that was when his father was alive. But when his father was dead, he decided to come and fight against Israel. Okay? Verse 6, and King Jehoram went out of Samaria the same time, and numbered all Israel. And he went and sent to Jehoshaphat the king of Judah, saying, the king of Moab hath rebelled against me. Wilt thou go with me against Moab to battle? And he said, I will go up. I am as thou art, my people as thy people, and my horses as thy horses. And he said, which way shall we go up? And he answered, the way through the wilderness of Edom. So the king of Israel went, and the king of Judah, and the king of Edom, and they fetched a compass of 7 days' journey, and there was no water for the host, and for the cattle that followed them. And the king of Israel said, alas, that the Lord hath called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab. So apparently Jehoram, the king of Israel, asked Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, to go along with him into battle against the king of Moab. And while they were going out there, they apparently were unable to get water, because I'm not sure why they have their cattle, etc. with them going to war, but there was cattle, etc. with them. And these animals need water, and so do humans. So now they're saying that the Lord has delivered all 3 of them into the hands of the king of Moab, because now they are not able to sustain their strength. They have no energy without water. Also, I believe the king of Edom also went along with them. I guess the Edomites were their brethren. They were the son of Ishmael, and they were relatives to the Israelites. So I guess they were also allies in battle. Verse 11. But Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of the Lord, that we may inquire of the Lord by him? And one of the king of Israel's servants answered and said, Here is Elisha, the son of Shaphat, which poured water on the hands of Elijah. And Jehoshaphat said, The word of the Lord is with him. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat and the king of Edom went down to him. And Elisha said unto the king of Israel, What have I to do with thee? Get thee to the prophets of thy father and to the prophets of thy mother. And the king of Israel said unto him, Nay, for the Lord hath called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hand of Moab. And Elisha said, As the Lord of hosts liveth, before whom I stand, surely were it not that I regard the presence of Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, I would not look toward thee, nor see thee. But now bring me a minstrel. And it came to pass, when the minstrel played, that the hand of the Lord came upon him. Okay, so these 3 kings, Jehoram, king of Israel, Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, and the king of Edom, they didn't give a name. 3 of them are going to battle against Moab. They have no water. They're starting to think, hey, maybe we are not, God is not with us in this battle. Let's go find a prophet to prophesy to us. They find Elisha, and Elisha is saying, you know what? Why don't y'all go to the gods of your father, or the prophets of your parents? You know, because that's Ahab and Jezebel's son. And the Edomites, they really were not of God-fearing people either. Go ask your own prophets. Were it not for Jehoshaphat, who was the only Israelite there, I would not even bother to answer you. But he did try to help them out. He sent for a minstrel, which is someone who plays music. And while he was playing the music, Elisha was able to prophesy. Let's hear what. Verse 16. And he said Thus saith the Lord, make this valley full of ditches. For thus saith the Lord, ye shall not see wind, neither shall you see rain, yet that valley shall be filled with water, that you may drink, both ye and your cattle and your beasts. And this is but a light thing in the sight of the Lord, but he will deliver the Moabites also into your hand. And you shall smite every fenced city and every choice city, and shall fell every good tree, and stop all wells of water, and mar every good piece of land with stones. And it came to pass in the morning, when the meat offering was offered, that behold, there came water by the way of Edom, and the country was filled with water. So the prophet Elisha is telling them, you know what? God will send you a miracle by having this valley full of water, and there will be no rain. Your cattle will be able to drink, you will be able to drink, and after that you're going to smite the Moabites. That's who they're going to fight against, and you're going to stop up all of their wells and take everything from morning till evening. And that's exactly what happened. The water came to them through Edom, and let's see what else happens. Verse 21. And when all the Moabites heard that the kings were come to fight against them, they gathered all that were able to put on armor and upward, and stood in the border. And they rose up early in the morning, and the sun shone upon the water, and the Moabites saw the water on the other side as red as blood. And they said, This is blood. The kings are surely slain, and they have smitten one another. Now therefore Moab to the spoil. And when they came to the camp of Israel, the Israelites rose up and smote the Moabites, so that they fled before them. But they went forward, smiting the Moabites, even in their country. And they beat down the cities, and on every good piece of land cast every man his stone, and filled it. And they stopped all the wells of water, and felled all the good trees. Only in Korharaseth left they the stones thereof. Howbeit the slingers went about and smote it. So just like God had told them, after they drank the water and watered their animals, etc., they went ahead and they were waiting for the Moabites. The Moabites on the other side, when they looked at the water that God had sent in the valley of Edom, it looked to them like blood. So in their mind, all these kings must have turned against each other, killed each other, and this is all their blood flowing in the water here. So while they were heading towards the spoil, because once the people are dead, they go and take up the things that were, their riches on them and jewelry and whatever, their clothing, and take their cattle, etc. So that's what the Moabites thought, because God sent them a delusion to believe that the blood looked like water. And as they went, the Israelites came upon them and smote them. Verse 26. And when the king of Moab saw that the battle was too sore for him, he took with him 700 men that drew swords to break through even unto the king of Edom, but they could not. Then he took his eldest son that should have reigned in his stead, and offered him for a burnt offering upon the wall. And there was great indignation against Israel, and they departed from him and returned to their own land. Oh my. So the Moabites are pagans. So what is happening here during the battle, when they realize that they are not winning, the Israelites are killing them, the Moabites, the king, takes his eldest son. So I believe that's his firstborn. People have, even though, I know this is a God-fearing mindset, that the firstborn son is offered to God. This is what he's doing here. In their own pagan custom, he's taking his firstborn son to offer him up, my gosh, as a burnt sacrifice, in order to have their God maybe help them to win the war. But I don't think that's going to help them. That's not going to be very helpful to them at all, because of course their God is not the real God. It's a pagan God that they're worshiping. And that's it. The Israelites, and they departed from him. Yeah. So they left him there burning. Oh my gosh. They burnt an offering upon the wall, offered him for a burnt offering upon the wall. How terrible. How terrible. That is a very pagan custom that people practiced long ago, offering up their children. That's the end of 2 Kings chapter 3. So we see once again God steps in on behalf of his people. Even when the Edomites are not God-fearing, neither were the Israelites at that time. They were following pagan gods. But because of one man, Jehoshaphat, who was still trying to live right in God's side, God helped them to defeat the Moabites. Sometimes in our lives too, it takes just one person around us, in our home, on our job. Could be us. You could be that person that God is using to bring blessings on the entire group around you. So we always need to be making sure, if we profess God, that we walk God. We don't just talk God. God is always going to bless and protect his people. That's the end of our reading of 2 Kings chapter 3. Thank you for listening once again. Our holiday season is kind of wrapping up as far as the celebration of Christ's birth. Now we are going into celebration of a new year. Next week, we are going to be starting January 1st, 2025. My goodness. God help us. There's going to be lots of changes, I'm sure. So until then, keep listening, because faith comes by hearing God's word. Until, bye.